Hey there, I'm Tristan Bellarive. Welcome to this video. In today's lesson, we're going to learn the names of the notes on the guitar. Let's check it out. Okay, I have my one-string guitar here, and I'm going to try to make things simple for you all today. So here we go. As I play this string, it's vibrating from this piece right here called the bridge saddle all the way down to this piece right here called the nut. Alright, and the nut's doing all the work for me. It's allowing this string to ring. I can play it with one hand. Okay, and it's the lowest tone that I can play on this guitar right now. And the name of it is A. Okay, now as I go to my right, these notes are all going to gradually sound higher and higher. Okay, so this is the lowest one, A. As I go here, you would think is B, but it's not. It's a mystery note, and we're going to talk about it later. This is B right here. Okay, so we have A, a mystery, and then B, and then we have this note right here called C. Now from one note to the very next one is called a half step. Okay, so you can see from B to C, that's a half step. From A to B, that's a whole step. Okay, so we got A, B, C. We have another mystery note right here. And then we have D. Alright. Half step to a questionable note. And then we have E right here. Right after E is F. Okay, so really important. I want you to remember that the notes B and C are right next to each other, and E and F are right next to each other. It's laid out the same way on a piano. Okay, you can see my guitar kind of looks like a weird piano right now. So B and C, E and F. Just think, because everything's fine. All right. After F, we've got a mystery note, and then we have a G. We have another mystery note after G, and then the next letter you would think maybe H. No, it's another A. So check this out. Listen real closely. As I play my open A, and then I play this A, hopefully you can hear that they sound very similar, right? Just for comparison here, I'll play this A and this G. Those sound very different, don't they? But when I go and play my A's, right? It's like two shades of the same color, okay? So this is A, so this is good news. This means that all these notes are just going to repeat again, all right? We've got this A, we've got the mystery note that we started with down here, and then we have a B, and look, B and C, faithfully right next to each other. Okay, cool. So, all right, these black spaces, what are these called? So this one right here is going to have two names because nothing can be simple, right? It's called A sharp, or it's called B flat. Okay? The best thing to do is just to kind of find the notes, the regular just letters first, and then as you go in your musical studies, you learn all these other guys later. Okay? So, but anyway, this is A sharp and B flat. This one right here is called C sharp or D flat. Okay, maybe you kind of get the idea. When we come here, this is going to be called D sharp or E flat. And then we have F sharp or G flat. And we've got G sharp or A flat. And then we're back home to A. Okay, so many guitars have these little markers on them here. Okay, and you'll notice that a lot of these notes line up to these markers. So that might help you out. Look, C is lined up with a marker, so is D, so is E, and then it kind of goes off the rails after that. Most guitars will have a double dot for the octave of the open string, and on a lot of guitars, like classical guitars, and this little guy right here is where the neck meets the body. Okay, not always the case, but quite often it is. Okay, so that's the basics right there. Just remember how these notes are laid out. Remember that B and C are a half step apart, and so are E and F. And you have a really good, strong foundation now for finding notes on your guitar. Okay, you know them on this A string. The good news is, as I add my other strings to this guitar, this same arrangement is going to stay true. Okay, it's just going to be, we're going to have basically a different starting point. Okay, so when I put this next string on right here, this is going to be my D string. So it's as if I started right here on the neck, D, and it'll follow the same pattern. I like to think of each string of the guitar like a singer. Individually, they have their own unique tone and range of notes that they can play or sing. But there's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of repeated notes that some strings can both play or can both sing. So for example, when I play my A string, the very bottom of this singer's range is an A. The lowest note he can sing, right? So we got a A, and then a B flat, B, C, C sharp, and then D. And this D is repeated on this next string. This is the D string, and the lowest note that he or she can play or can sing is a D. But the cool thing is, this same arrangement of notes that we learned on the A string, this pattern is going to continue, okay? But I'm going to need to take these stickers off now because they only apply to the A string, okay? So let me tear those off, and we'll talk a little bit more about each string, okay? Okay, the stickers are off. Can we still find the notes? I think we can. Here's our A string. Remember, unless you're going from B to C, a half step, or E to F, you always have to skip one note to get to the next letter. Okay, so this is A. I've got to skip fret 1 to get to B. Fret C is right there. Now I've got to skip one again and go to fret 5 for D. And now we've approached the beginning of the next string or the next singer's vocal range, okay, if we're imagining these as singers. So what I got to do is I just put the string on. I need to get this string in tune with fret 5 of the A string. This is really cool. You can tune the guitar to itself. You don't have to hire a guitar tuner. You can tune the guitar to itself, and if you want, you can experiment with different tunings, right? It's really cool. So this is a D, and I want this to be a D right here. So I'm just going to turn that tuning key until it's in tune with this one. So this takes some time to develop. Some people it comes really quick. Some people it takes a while to develop this skill. A couple pointers. You can hold down this note and then play the next one at the same time. And what you hear is when they get really close, there'll be this weird kind of beating and like wah, 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 wah sound. You hear that? It means you're really close. And what you want to do is turn that tuning key until the beating slows down and then stops. Ooh, sometimes you get a little crack or a squeak. All right? And you can always check it. You can always check it with your tuner if you're not entirely trusting your ears, okay? All right, cool. So we have a D on fret 5 of the A string, and we have a D, an open D string here. And guess what? We're going to have a lot of repeated notes now. If I continue on my A string just for review, fret 5 is a D, and we have E and F. These notes, D, E, and F, kind of like the middle of this singer's range, is the bottom or the beginning of this singer's range. And they both kind of have slightly different tones, right? So it's really cool. We have all these repeated notes and fun things we can do with it. Okay, so I've got my A string, my D string. The next one is going to be G. Okay, it's starting to look more like a guitar. We have 3 strings now. So this is going to be G. Okay, so check it out. When I play my D string, I have a G in here somewhere, right? Can we find it? D. Do I need to go a half step or a whole step to get to E? I need to go a whole step. I have E right there. Remember, E to F, right next to each other. What's after F? Note called F sharp. And then after F sharp, we have a G right here on fret 5. Again, check it out. Fret 5 on the A, fret 5 on the D. So learning the notes on the guitar is just kind of a process, and it takes time, and it just takes just playing a lot and playing a lot of tunes and just kind of looking at the fretboard and finding these notes. You know, you can really buckle down and map it all out and try to just kind of like force it into your brain. And that's okay. It's kind of a good thing to do sometimes. But for the most part, just be aware. You know, just play some tunes and try to find out what notes you're playing. If you're getting into reading music, that helps. But the biggest tip, I think, is try to actually picture the letter name on the fretboard, like it's like a little sticker that's on the fretboard saying, "Hey, this is B." You know, that for me that really helps, rather than trying to kind of like imagine the alphabet in some distant part of your brain. Just put it right on the guitar neck, and I think that'll help out a lot. Okay. Okay, so we've got our G string on. The next is going to be B. All right, so B string. Okay, the B string is on. So here's something interesting about the B string, okay, for tuning, all right? So all the other guys, we go to fret 5 on the string right next to it to get our tuning note, okay? So going from A to D, you got fret 5 of A is a D, and then an open D string. Then you go fret 5 of the D string to get your Gs. Now when you go from G to B, you need to come back one fret on fret 4 of the G to get a B note. Okay, it's a little weird, little kind of quirk of the many quirks that the guitar has, right? You could think of it this way. From the A string to the D string, 4 letters, A, B, C, D. Okay, and then from D to G, D, E, F, G, 4 letters. When you go from G to B, it's only 3 letters. You have a G, then you go to the beginning of the alphabet again to A, and then B. Okay, so all the strings are tuned in what's called fourths, except for the G and the B. So you have to just always remember to come back to the left one, or to the other way if you're playing the guitar as a left-handed guitar player. To go to fret 4, okay, to get your 2 Bs. All right, cool. So we're almost there. I'm gonna put on my high E string and then my low E string, and then we'll be all set. We'll have all 6 strings on this guitar. All right, sweet. I have all 6 strings on this guitar now. So to tune my E string, I can go to fret 5 of the B. That's also an E. Actually, we have all kinds of E's everywhere. We've got one here, one here, one here. All right, but I can go right to fret 5 of the B, get that E string in tune, and then get my low E string in tune. Okay, if it's a little bit hard to hear because these strings are so far apart, you can get one of these lower E's, like on fret 7 of the A string. Tune it that way, or even fret 2 of the D, right? You have all these options, and now you know how to find the notes. So congratulations, have fun, and thank you so much for taking the time to learn. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.